What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the opinionated hippie, and this is my top 10 favorite Led Zeppelin songs. I did the album ranking a couple videos ago. These are my songs. This is a list that is compiled after listening to Led Zeppelin for over 4 decades. I grew up in Los Angeles, on FM radio in Los Angeles, and as I said on the album video, they pretty much played every single Led Zeppelin song on every album. It wasn't like, even though their rotation of common songs is probably bigger than most, like there are albums where when I finally got around to buying them, I already knew every song on them because FM radio in the 70s, I'm sure in all cities in the States, but definitely in LA, was you could play whatever you wanted as a DJ. And these DJs played deep cuts after deep cuts after deep cuts. And so, yeah. So a lot of the songs that I think I know are other people's favorites, I can't legitimately call them my favorite anymore because I don't want to listen to them. I've heard them too many times. When I do listen to them, yeah, I recognize their greatness, but are they my favorite at this point? No, they're not. All those songs not on this list that you're really, really mad couldn't make this list. How could that not be on your list? It probably was at some point over the course of the last 43 years. It is not now. So you just got to deal with it, man. You just got to deal with it. So I'm going to go through my 10. I'm going to put the list on the screen so for you visual learners. And then you let me know what your 10 are, why I'm stupid for leaving that off my list. How could I possibly do that? Bring it, people. I know you can. I know you will. So anyways, yeah, that's it. Here we go. Number 10, Physical Graffiti, In the Light. Absolutely love that song. Love the sort of slow build of it. Love the beginning. Love sort of the drop that really isn't as dramatic a drop as you might think it's going to be. Love the sort of melodic turn at the end when it just kind of gets a little more like just positive and optimistic. And yeah, love everything about this. Always not a fan of some of the keyboard sounds they use, but this one doesn't bother me. In fact, I really, really like it. But yeah, I think the combination of Kashmir, I guess Kashmir ends side, the first CD or side B of the first LP. In the Light kicks off the next one. And that going from Kashmir, which to me is like an orgy of just like decadent, just brilliance, right? Just this like grand, epic, almost like a Roman orgy with grapes and wine and swimming and just men and women and all that kind of stuff. And then In the Light feels almost like the hangover afterwards, how we're like slowly waking up to a new day. And it's not a hangover. You're like, oh my gosh, I wish I hadn't done all that last night. But it's like this hangover of like, man, that was a rough night, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. And now I just got to recover. And when I finally recover, I can go back into the light. It's a great follow-up to Kashmir. So anyways, my number 10. Number 9, probably maybe should be higher. It's a sentimental favorite. It will never, never not be on my top 10 list. Probably was not on my top 10 list before I moved to Texas. Once I moved to Texas and I heard this for the first time afterwards, I was in Austin visiting a friend. This song dropped. I was like, oh, I felt the heart pain, the heartache going to California. It feels like California. It reminds me of growing up in California. I grew up on the coastal communities in the South. Absolutely love it. 75-degree weather all the time. Maybe down to 60 at night, 65. And I used to love the line, looking for a woman that's never, never, never been born. I used to relate to that line a lot. I don't anymore. I found that woman. She was born. I'm happy. But there was a time when that line just felt like, yeah, I feel that, man. I know what you're talking about. Just love it. Love the whole acoustic vibe of it. It, to me, feels like California. It's the California that I like, that energy. Number 8, 10 Years Gone. The beginning of this song, just that opening sort of riff that he plays, that chord progression, and then the first minute and a half, which kind of slowly builds, but just with Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones on bass. You don't get any drums until a minute and a half. And then when the drums finally kick in, it's not this over the top. They just kind of kick in and like notch up the energy a little bit. And the song really, really never reaches that sort of climactic peak It has a tension to it that kind of never gets released. And it's haunting. I mean, and that opening progression, that dun, 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 just kind of sparse, but kind of just laying the framework for the song. I think it's one of the most beautiful, like that first minute and a half of the song. I love the rest of it, but the setup before the drums kick in, I think it's just one of the most magical things they've done. Absolutely love the song. 10 Years Gone, Physical Graffiti. Number 7 off Presence, Nobody's Fault But Mine. Just a really sort of aggressive attack on this song. The singing is great. The playing is great. I love the arrangement. I love the energy of this. Presence is a really good album. And this, right off, kicking off side B, right there in the heart of the album is sort of where kind of everything kind of bleeds out from that. And like the energy of this song goes towards the beginning of the album and feeds Achilles' Last Stand and Royal Orleans in the best way possible, and then bleeds into the other songs that follow in the best way possible. Just an absolutely epic version of this song. Number 6 off Led Zeppelin 3, Since I've Been Loving You. One of my favorite slow blues songs ever. There's a little phrase that just keeps kind of getting repeated throughout it that I absolutely love. Love the energy, love the slow burn blues vibe of it. Love everybody's playing on it. Love the vocals. I think it works really, really well on that side A of Led Zeppelin 3. Just sits there so perfectly and really provides sort of, I think, the meatiest, heartiest moment of the album. Just absolutely epic. Number 5, song I will never get sick of hearing, and that's Dazed and Confused. I just love that progression that opens it up. Love the solos, love the breakdown, love the energy. To me, it's just sort of your epic, like hard rock song. Like it's sort of like Dazed and Confused is like their, I mean, maybe not hit-wise. You know, it never was like sort of the hit that a lot of the other things are. But as far as like the live energy that it brings, it's like their Tweezer, or they're like Dark Star, or they're like King Kong, or there's just that, it is that epic monster of a hard rock song. There's Smoke on the Water. Obviously doesn't sound like those, but to me that is what this song represents in the heart of like the Led Zeppelin world. To me, Dazed and Confused is just one of those almost like untouchable tracks. Number 4 off Led Zeppelin 4, boom, 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 boom. Little keyboard action, organ action, absolutely just rockin', feel good, Misty Mountain Hop. Another one of those songs I could hear forever. Remember the first time I saw Robert Plant, or maybe this is the second time I saw Robert Plant, but it was on the tour when he did 4 Zeppelin songs. I think he did, this was one of them, but this was one of them. And I think it was the first one he played like 4 or 5 songs into the show. And I just remember that place erupting. I remember just, my response was like, well, yes, of all songs, this song. And I think seeing it live on that Plant tour in like, I guess like 87, 88, sometime in like the mid to late 80s, just cemented in my mind that this would be always one of my favorite songs. So this one has been in the top 10 list, probably as long as Going to California. Longer, because I was living in California when I saw Robert Plant. Number 3, The Rain song. Just an emotional song. It's got heart. It's very sentimental. It just feels, there's a magical quality to it. I talked about on the album video how I was driving back from a Dead show once up just from LA to San Francisco. And we had left a couple hours after the show, hung out in the parking lot, and we were hitting somewhere just, I don't know, we were south of where you turn off to go to, you know, up towards like San Jose and stuff. We were south of that turnoff, which I can't remember what it was, what it is at this point. And the sun started to rise, and we're in that really hilly part where you're about to reach the northern stretch of I-5. And it was just like, just magical. The sun was coming up. You had like low fog that it was fighting through, and this song was playing. Everybody was asleep in the car, and it was just one of those like magical 5 minutes, the most perfect 5 minutes ever. And I can still see that road, and I can see that sun, and I can just feel what that moment was like. Absolutely incredible. Number 2, also off that album, Houses of the Holy, that Rain song is on. No Quarter. Just an awesome organ, John Paul Jones-centric masterpiece. I think Tool covers this. Shows you what an awesome song it is. The Tool's dipping into it. Just works for me forever. Again, I I think as I've gotten older, I really appreciate the sort of slow burning energy of those kind of Zeppelin songs. We have In the Light, which has a lot of slow burning energy. Going to California, kind of 10 Years Gone has a lot of tension in it. Since I've Been Loving You, an obvious slow burner. Dazed and Confused, kind of a really intense slow burner that does have a little more of an eruption in it, but it slow burns. The Rain song, No Quarter, just these really sort of like, they maybe not have explosive energy, but you can feel it right under there. And the fact that there's restraint makes the song even more incredible. And then number one, best drum intro of any song ever, maybe, right? Who are the other contenders? Stevie Wonder's Superstition would definitely be up there. I'm sure there's others I've mentioned on this channel. But When the Levee Breaks, the drum intro, that guitar coming in, Plant's vocals, the weird changes toward like the second third of the song, just everything about this song. It is the South, it is Louisiana, it is gritty, it is dirty, it is flooded, it is like dangerous, it is just everything you want out of a song. I think this this is my favorite song. I think this might be like everything Led Zeppelin does so fantastic, just wrapped up in one little song. But that opening, doom, boom, doom, bum, bum, that drum beat is huge. It is bigger than all of Texas. Texas thinks it's big. Listen to the opening drums to When the Levee Breaks. You are nothing compared to that drum intro. Yeah, those are my 10 favorite Zeppelin songs in April of 2023. There they are, right there on the screen. That's what they look like in written form. Go listen to them in musical form because they're much better in musical form than they are in written form. That's it. That's all I got to say. Tell me why I'm crazy. Tell me what songs I can reconsider. Tell me what songs you were completely blown away that are on this list. You know you have opinions. I have opinions. Those are my opinions right there. And I'll defend them till the end, people. But yeah, that's it. Go listen to music. Subscribe, like, share, whatever you want to do. Be yourself. Be free. Exercise your freedoms if you have them, if you live in a part of the world where you can. But most importantly, listen to music, people. Go listen to all the music. Peace. Talk to you later.